2 buckets of chicken, gravy, mashed potatoes, fries, hot buns, macaroni salad, coleslaw, and swing by A&W and pick up 4 double cheeseburgers loaded. Yeah, deliver to Jim Leahy, Trailer Park Supervisor of the Year, Sunnyvale Trailer Park.
Yeah, what'd that guy just go get? Hopefully pizza.
Yeah, he's the one who wanted to start at 6:30. He hadn't even gotten done eating yet.
I know it's crazy. He wanted to start early, and then we get a text from him when I sent the link. His laptop's dead.
And he hasn't eaten dinner yet.
When he wanted to start early, that is outrageous. I ate dinner early. Did you eat dinner early?
Yeah, I cooked dinner.
Nice.
Full nice. I did gnocchi Italian sausage soup.
Sounds fantastic.
It
Yeah,
was.
Brian cooked too. I
Yeah,
guess
pizza.
probably cooked a damn good pizza though.
So is the boat winterized?
Yeah, it's official. Boat is winterized,
Oh, there it
and
is. Pizza
yeah,
in
he's
tow.
back.
God
I
damn.
just got all the batteries out to
He's
put him inside.
smacking. He's gonna be smacking that za
I'm
all
glad he's
throughout
muted
this
right
intro.
now. Should I ask to unmute?
Sorry,
I'll
you were
probably
saying?
do. No, boat's winterized officially. Appreciate you, Boat Sport Marina in Eagle
Shut up.
River. Got her done real quick. Shout out. They're probably like, "What the hell are you doing still with a boat? It's freaking December 1st." And they're nice enough to winterize that real quick, even though pretty much all they had out was snowmobiles. So they've kind of already gravitated to a different season.
Yeah, I mean, with all the snow and cold weather, might actually have a snowmobile season this year.
It's exciting. It's exciting for the town. All the bars and restaurants and events that are put on in the winter. I mean, shit, when there's actually snow up here, there's actually things to do.
Go ahead, Brian, take a bite. I know you want to.
Too hot. It's too hot. I gotta wait a minute.
Fresh out the
Uh,
oven.
I
What'd you
thought you.
make?
I made a little homemade lots of matzo Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Mmm.
So I cooked
Percy?
Add
that. I
add
did
anything
cook
to
that
it?
myself.
Did you do the
Yeah.
Percy matzah or the medium size?
Percy. No, those personal ones are for little kids. I do like the whole 14-inch, 12 inch. I don't know what
Do
it
you
is.
eat the whole thing?
Yeah, usually.
Next question.
They're thin crust, man. They're not very filling.
Oh, I'm
Just
sorry.
loaded
I'm
with
sorry.
good pure protein, though. That's why I
There's
like.
like 4.5 pounds of cheese on those things.
It's like
That's probably
1,700
true.
calories.
Oh
Generous
yeah,
Yeah.
side.
yeah. But like you said, it's protein packed. It's
It is
healthy.
what it is, man. Y'all acting like you've never done it before.
I, hey man, I'm not giving you a hard
I'm
time.
not judging. Just checking in on what you're eating tonight. That's all.
Yeah, that's what's on the docket. I went to the grocery store. I've been bad at that. You know, you guys, that's probably not shocking to hear for you guys, but um I went there and I grabbed some stuff. I made some pasta earlier this week, and then I was like, you know what? I'll grab a frozen pizza. That'll make it easy one night. You know, we're just chipping away at getting some stuff instead of like grabbing stuff on the way home from work. So it's a work in
No, that's
progress,
good.
but
You're
Proud of
growing
you.
up.
Yeah.
this is
I
Wednesday
need
nights or whatever. Yeah, Wednesday night's meal.
got
Yeah,
her done just
nice.
in time for the podcast you wanted to start early on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At least I thought you'd let me do the intro with a mouthful of food like you did the other week.
Yeah, no, that's true. Kind of forgot about that. I was just mowing and answering questions and yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about boat, winterize, stuff like that. That's what's happened right now. But I guess since the last
Sad
pod,
day.
Max and I did get out fishing and we got out 2 days, skunked one day, smacked them our final day, which is pretty dope. And the cool part, Max not only got them both, but he got them both jigging, the Red October tube.
Mm.
Mm,
Spar, the most versatile bait in the industry.
really?
Hmm.
You think so?
Yeah.
You got
Just
any
saying.
more to say on that?
I just saw our boy Doug Wagner post about it today. Most versatile bait ever, the tube, and I was like, yeah, well, it's probably true. I'm barely
Just
throwing it
taking
myself, but
just taking words right out of Dougie Fresh's mouth.
yeah. What
Okay.
he says is gospel in the musky world, all right?
How much do you think you've thrown a tube in your life? Over under 12 minutes.
Not long at all. I never throw them. Usually Gus
You
or you are
don't.
throwing them, and I'm like, I'm not throwing that. Mix it up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
So
sorry to
it's
be bombarding you with all the questions, Brian. You maybe, I guess you just took a bite. Looked like. Sorry about that.
No, no, I didn't. But
what's new with you, big dog? We weren't on the pod last week. Haven't caught up in a while. What's going on? Gus,
uh,
real quick, Gus, what episode are we on?
We chilling on episode 132. I
oh,
say
What
about
podcast is this?
episode 132. What do you mean? What
Of
podcast
what
is this?
podcast? You gotta.
Oh,
Muskie's on tap.
welcome to the Muskies on Tap
On tap
podcast.
podcast.
I
Thank
am
you.
one of your hosts tonight, Gus Manty. We got Max Mantion and B Dog Eckle mowing
Going
down the
on, guys?
pizza. Yeah, woo,
Yeah,
woo,
so
woo.
it's new.
Uh, Not being shit, not a whole lot. Three busiest work weeks of the year. So I'm just out here grinding. A lot
Living
of good, a
lives.
lot of good hoops on. We got college football rounding out the season, conference championships, and then the playoffs. I am fortunate enough to be going this weekend to the big Ohio State Indiana matchup at Lucas Oil. So that'll be sweet. Never been to Lucas Oil, never been to the Big Ten Championship. And yeah, it should be a fun game. Number one and two in the country. I don't remember all, honestly, I don't know if that's ever happened in the Big Ten Championship. So
I'm
Mm,
before
right
you
on.
add something on here, Brian, I am or Max, I'm ignorant on stadium names. Is that the Hoosiers Stadium?
Colts.
Oh, that's at the Colts.
Yeah.
No
Yep.
I
shit.
was gonna
They're playing
ask,
at
I mean,
I didn't know, yeah.
that that game's gonna have some pop. You think because it's in Indiana, it's gonna be mostly IU fans, or do you
I don't know.
think
I thought they usually sold tickets 50-50, but I guess there's really no way to do that. Like,
How do they do that? Oh,
yeah,
that
that's
guy's from Ohio. That he must be an
well,
OSU
50-50
fan.
in terms of like students, which they can kind of regulate a little easier. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're neither team's far from Lucas Oil, so and Ohio State travels
true?
anywhere. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it'll be a cool environment, and I'm a big Buckeye fan. My mom went to Indiana, so I'm a kind of an Indiana fan too. So win-win in the outcome, really.
What
It'd be
about
cool.
the books in Vegas on this one? Who wins in that one?
Uh, they got Ohio State by 5 or 6, somewhere in that ballpark.
Wow. I guess it's not
So
at the home den of Indiana, but
yeah, it's not considered really a home game, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my money's gonna be, but excited to see how it plays out.
Probably venture a guess on where it'll be, but
Yeah, a couple
that's
A's, couple strays.
yeah, I was just gonna say a
on
couple
one game.
ATTDs. Um, that's cool. You got some good seats.
I don't know. I got to look at them again. When I just glanced at them before, it was like fairly low, but in the end zone. So I don't know. I got to look up like like if you look at ticketing apps, they show you what your view is from the seat.
Mm,
I guess sometimes I don't know how accurate it is, but I'll have to see. Either way, I mean, I'm sure that I've heard good things of Lucas Oil, people that have been there. Good stadium, can't have a bad seat.
right
So,
on. That'll be awesome.
Good.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Good shit. Send us pics.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Max, what's new with you?
Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, we did end the season on a high note. That was fun getting out this weekend. Friday we didn't really have too much time to fish. I drove up and met you guys at a landing and got a couple hours in. Had a couple close calls, but was not meant to be that day. And then yeah, Saturday was sweet. Drove around. I got up early, let Gus sleep in. Went up to go check some landings on some lakes
Reesh.
that we thought might be open, but might be closed. It was low, like 12 on Friday night last week, and not much wind, so it was looking a little sketchy for sure. But yeah, found an open lake and went out there with some live bait that was pretty much dead. So decided to do some
Yeah.
jigging
No,
and
nobody had like any suckers left. I was able to get one more like spunky new one to bring into the equation, and that
yeah,
was
which
almost
got chowed twice, but the muskies
Yeah.
yeah,
apparently now like to just briefly eat them, do a little taste test, and
unreal.
not actually eat them. So I think we ended up getting like I don't know, 5 or 6 bites, maybe five bites, couple drops,
Five
and then
bites.
two
Yep. Two.
hits on two hits on jigging and caught both those. So yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. It's good to see something else work. That time of year, it seems like jigging's actually pretty dang effective on the right bodies of water. So um, cool to see it. Cool to see it get multiple bites. I wish, looking back, I would have even done it more. Um,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
it's
me
just
too.
tough with the line was freezing up and it was just, it was cold. A Saturday was probably a high of maybe 21, 20 degrees, wind chill probably closer to 15 or less, and it was snowing and, wind picked up. So it was cool. Always fun to go out on Thanksgiving weekend. For whatever reason, the last day of the year has been really good to us. So that was awesome. Other than that, yeah, work's been hectic. I did start rewatching Breaking Bad. Not sure if you youngins ever got into that show, but
For
No,
whatever
that's
reason,
been a
no, but
trip,
it's on
really.
my
I don't know
radar
why
for this
either.
winter.
I think it's the big commitment, isn't it? Like a super long series, front to
Six or
back.
It
seven,
was 5 seasons. It's not
five
bad.
season.
No.
Goes by pretty quick. I mean,
That's fine.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's I'm not surprised you guys haven't seen it, but it's yeah, it's damn good.
What do you mean?
Um
Yeah, what do you
I'm
mean not
just,
surprised?
I'm just saying, like every time I feel like I bring up good TV shows, you guys are like, I haven't seen that.
Just not a TV
Could be
show
could be the
aficionado.
age
I don't
gap.
know.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
That's insane.
No,
I
I'll
don't know.
try it. I watched like the first two episodes and I was like, all right, got my fix, I guess, but I just got to grind out probably a handful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first season's a little, it kind of is a slow burn at the beginning, but once it gets rolling, it's pretty dang good.
I I do feel like an idiot. I've done that. I've been burned by the slow burn, which I absolutely love, like long drawn out stuff. Like I don't mind that, but Breaking Bad's got me. Uh, what's another one that is Sopranos got me for whatever reason. I started it, tried to like get really into it, stopped for whatever reason. I got burned by The Wire.
Oof.
I might have finished the whole first season, but I just didn't keep going
Yeah,
for
that's
whatever
one
reason.
you got to stick with the wire.
I maybe watched like 4 episodes. I don't know why. Yeah.
Oh
I'm gonna
man,
have to holler at your boy, get your HBO Max
that's
account or
hard to
something.
hear. Yeah, well, Breaking Bad's on Netflix. You guys should tee that up. It's
Ah,
winter.
true.
It's no more fishing, so good time of year to. That's why I started firing it up. Honestly, I'm like, well, you know, gonna have a little bit more
Yeah,
time on my hands now. So
Have
I
you
know.
seen
Oh, I was gonna say because it's this time. I like through the summer I've been writing down notes of movies that are classics and or I've never seen for whatever reason. I've already started going through the list
nice.
because why not?
have you seen True Detective?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's only one good season of that show.
Yeah.
just
The
season
first one,
one.
I should probably watch that.
Yeah, I watched that with Mason and Matt, Brian, one year. We dove straight into that.
Worth it.
Absolutely worth it. So
Yeah, y'all need to tee up Breaking Bad. And let's see what
yeah.
else we got to chat about. Anything else new to end the
Um,
year? The Spotify Wrap came out.
yeah, I
Yep.
was gonna say we could dive into that. I just want to quick give big ol' shout out to our boy Mr. Charlie Scott for letting me use his heated garage for a couple days to the end of the
Oh,
season. That's pretty big time. Because I can keep my boat stored in a garage all year where I'm at, but it's not heated. And as soon as you get super cold temps where the highs and lows are not above freezing, that heated garage comes in handy. I mean, there was the one day we got back or got done, and if we didn't shovel out the boat, there would have been like multiple inches in it. It was only maybe like a half inch of snow in there.
Mhm.
Got there the next morning, it was completely dry. So big
fire.
Yeah.
time there.
And
Big time
before
shout
the
out.
wrap, Gus, maybe we'll start with this. So I put out a post on Facebook on Muskies on Tap, asking people to send in their 2025 season highlights. I think I got a
Hmm.
bit ahead of myself saying that I was going to highlight some of them on the upcoming podcast. 100,
Yeah.
170 comments later, it's a bit much to go through and pick out any
Holy shit.
specific
Dude,
favorite
yeah.
170?
ones. But I will say, cool thing about doing this is you kind of get to see uh, everybody's kind of highlight from the season, and it looked like there was a bunch of just a bunch of cool catches, like catches with your kids. A lot of
PBDs.
PBs this year. It seemed like some wild, having a pike on, musky eats it type stories, just like all the crazy stuff, doubles, um,
Yeah, the
catching
one
the same
double.
fish multiple times, just crazy stuff all around. It was cool to see. Big tigers, a lot of 50s. Holy shit, a lot of 50s. So that was cool. Cool to see.
Yeah, I enjoyed reading through those. Those replies were split between Max and I, but I was able to look through all of them. Brian, I don't know, do you even use Facebook anymore?
No, I don't. I just saw you flash that pic. I was like, damn, I didn't know I got featured with the
No,
big
no,
Billy
no,
Bats.
no, no. I don't even feature you in that one. I didn't toss you in with the buck 70 comments. Um, no, I actually made that was 2 days ago, and just today because I saw the Wrapped posted and some people were putting Mott on their stories. Shout out. I just had to do because Facebook's a better place. FYI, if you guys have not followed Muskies on Tap on Facebook, please go ahead. Post some stuff there, some cool stuff. I did word on the street. Spotify rap just dropped. Did anybody make in our top 5 podcasts? Blah blah blah. And then I'm like, enjoy this picture of Brian catching some bucket mouse just to feel something. That
Yeah,
was
that was
the
good.
clickbait photo.
Dude,
So far, it's pretty good.
I'm never on Facebook. So I'm just like totally out of touch with what's going on there, but holy shit. There's a lot of comments on that, and that's a lot of stuff to read. I'm gonna have to be looking through those tonight.
Any fish stick out right away when you're scrolling through?
Yeah, I mean, just the ones at the top so far, that humpback, 47.5 inch tiger.
Oh, by Elizondo
Yeah,
and Sir
Ryan
Eli.
Elizondo. That's crazy. How does that fish swim and stay alive?
Shout out
Yeah,
Musky
right.
Hunks.
I know that thing is so I think I commented like it looks like it was a bad edit job. Like
Yeah,
somebody trying to,
make it fat.
yeah, distort a muskie and
It's
put it
waddle,
in all the
watching that
wrong
thing
places.
waddle away.
Yeah.
A lot of stories on here, though. It'll be cool to read through.
Yeah, there's a
No,
bunch
it's
of good
good.
ones just, using different baits, different trips all across the range from Canada, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Lake St. Clair. That's Missouri, a couple Missouris in there, a couple out
Like
east,
the Woods,
like the woods.
Iowa.
I just ran into another one. This guy, shot Jake Connor, looks like a bank yanker. Caught a 50 by 19 3 times on suckers in less than a week.
Unreal.
That fish, man, just falls
I
for the same trap.
I hope he gave some of those suckers back to him. That fish is hungry.
Yeah,
It
jam one
just
down
wanted
his
to eat.
throat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this one I got
deserves.
to highlight. I shout out my buddy Sean, Sean
Oh
Wood,
yeah.
catching this 55 by 23 after some Chinese buffet. That's it. And then also our good buddy Alec Schussman. Yeah, he was with them that day. They caught another 49 and a quarter and a 45. So they had a all-time day on Green Bay,
That's
rocking some
insane.
Mott hat too. Love
Fire
it.
up, man.
Just
Fire up.
Sean is just no lid, holding the 55. No sunglasses,
Nice
no
Damn.
lid.
sweat. Boy's just raw dogging life.
I love that.
Where's this 55 at? I'm not seeing it.
He's not living life on
Uh,
easy mode.
you'll see it, dog.
Can't miss it.
That's our boy Sean. Yeah, I mean it's a monster. The head is ginormous.
The no bucket, no sunglasses look is such a flex.
Such
Yeah.
a flex. It's like, damn, dude, you really just like configure
Oh,
it that well.
Sean.
Don't even need to look down.
Yeah. Dude just fishing with his eyes closed.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I see this now. Shout out my boy Tim. I took him and his dad Steve out on the chain showing him the ropes and whatnot. We caught some fish. His dad caught a nice tiger. And then the next day in their little mini tournament, Tim won it and got his PB all in the
On the
same
Wow.
chain.
on the chain, baby. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he got on a Bam Bam too. Shout out. I remember he sent me that.
Bowfin?
Yeah, it was like the blue shark color.
Get out of town. That worked on the chain.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
my
He
God.
sent me the picture of it chewed up. I'm like, no fucking way, dude. There's no way
That's
you got. He's
awesome.
like, yep. I think it was a big one too, which is even more outrageous.
Honestly, maybe just because they haven't seen that color and they're like, oh, something
Yeah.
new.
Dude,
There's not a
blue.
single blue fish that swims.
Nah. Blue is totally underrated on the chain.
Really?
I don't know. I'm talking about ass right now.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
What blue baits do you use out
yeah, I don't even
there?
know.
I
You
don't.
have like
Can you
three
get
of
some
them.
stuff from us?
Yeah, no, I ain't hiding nothing. I don't use blue out there, but that is pretty crazy.
Max, if you didn't check him there, he was just gonna roll with that.
Yeah. I mean, people are tuning in here week in, week out, trying to get some reliable information. You got Gus, the guy that guides on Eagle River Chain, talking about how blue is a great
Blue's fire,
color.
blue's fire.
I have no joke. I have heard that, and we do use that one blue
Uh,
slammer, but it's got an orange belly and like silver
oh, you
gold
mean,
side.
yeah. You mean where the fish actually see it's all orange and silver?
Yeah, yeah. It's chill.
It's all good. They work. They work.
Hey, everybody, trust me. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Maybe before our guest pops on here, Gus, get a little technical after all this gibberish. So for jigging muskies in the fall, why don't you just give
Mm-hmm.
like a quick 30-second rundown on what you like to do, how you like, I guess just feel good about doing it and
Mm-hmm.
give the people some goods for next year in the fall when they're out there jigging.
All right. Quick little rundown here. Top two baits, pretty much the only two I jig with are OG Bondi and a Red October tube, Ninja or Monster. Big tip there. Don't have to, but I run a back blade on it. Acts is kind of like a drag. Also like a fish collar, bringing them in, giving them a little noise down there and vibration. But when the tube drops, if it doesn't have the blade, it's going to get super squirrely, and that's how it gets wrapped up in the line all the time. So on the jigs, bring the rod tip down to the top of the water, jig it up to be pretty much parallel with the water, like your rod, or horizontal with the water. Don't go up above like your waist or anything because you don't want to be caught in a bad position if they eat at the top, which I think one of them might have for you, Max. I think
Hmm.
ate towards the top, but you're
Hmm.
you're doing a great job keeping the rod at level, not keeping it too high, so you could still set the hook and have space for it. And then on the fall, whatever speed that lure drops at, that's what you want to drop your rod. You don't want to have a huge bow in your line, but you also don't want to like drop it at super sluggish, slow speeds for the most part. And whatever you start jigging with, just keep that same pattern. It sounds dead opposite of like a glide bait or a twitch bait, but I actually like keep the same motion the whole time. It's almost like when fish keying on jigging lures, they like are watching it from afar possibly, and then they know when it's dropping, they know when they can go eat it. So that's when they're gonna go eat it rather than it's just kind of erratic. I've never gotten bites doing that, and if I would, I'd assume the hookup is already worse than what sometimes jigging can be. So, and sharp hooks.
So question like for someone like me, if I got a boat tomorrow and went on the body of water, I'm not confident at all in jigging. Feel like I can't cover
Hmm.
any water. I do not own a live scope. What am
Oh
I?
yeah.
Am I just looking for bait pods on side imaging off of like, a drop off and then I'm just plotting down with the jig for a little bit, or how are you kind of tackling water?
Still, so we had live bait running, so we always wanted the boat to be kind of moving. Um, So I've done it with that, and of course we've done it in cave runs. So two different tactics I've done there. We kept the boat moving at least half mile an hour, and sometimes up to 1 mile an hour, keeping the suckers rolling. Um, I like having them swimming at all times. Like if you just park the boat and spot lock it with suckers, I feel like half the time they just end up looking straight up and not really doing shit, especially if you don't have good ones, which we didn't. So we wanted to keep it moving. And that's one way to cover water. And you got to think, even though you're not casting or covering water the long way, your bait's in the water the whole time. And just try to think about if you're doing a break line, which is majority of what we're doing in the late fall. It's kind of like a fish highway. They're cruising up and down the break line because it's super steep. They want to, regulate their body temps. They're following ciscos and perch and other bait fish that are going from pelagic to, pushing up back and forth. It seems like later in the fall, if you are on a Cisco-based lake, like those Ciscos just slowly, depending on the day, will move in closer and closer to the break lines. They'll move closer and closer to the shallow flats. They'll push up onto them. So I mean, we were jigging in anywhere from 10 feet of water to 24, 22. The sweet spot was kind of in like that 15 to 20, it seemed like. And then another tip there in the fall, especially, drop it right to the bottom and then lift up like 1 to 3 feet, maybe. Keep it within like 4 to 7 feet of the bottom ish. You'd be surprised how much they can pick up on it. It doesn't have to be touching the bottom. It can. It's not a bad idea, um, but yeah, just keep her moving. Find the bait, like you said, and you can cover more water than you think, to be honest. And if you don't have live and you jig towards the back of the boat, this is the big one that I learned from Cave Run when I was solo down there, because they banished live, obviously. I jigged in the back of the boat and kept it right next to my side image transducer the whole time, and I could see where I was at the whole time, and I could actually see follows on it.
Pretty cool.
So you do not need live to jig and see them down there.
No, you do not.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, super super underrated tactic, I feel like. But nice job, Brian. That's good work.
That thing's gone.
He's
You just
gone.
cashed that pizza, dude?
Yeah,
No way.
little intro pie. I might start doing this more often.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got a
ask
little
questions.
Yeah, you got a little extra pep in your stuff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Got the agua. Is that all
Yeah.
you got? You got something else? I got myself a Moon Man tonight.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
What
jealous.
y'all?
I've been
Yeah,
on
wine, Max.
no, I've been on a no beers or wine during school nights lately.
Wow.
So
The old lady
See,
got you or
no.
what? What's going on?
I don't know.
Just
No, just trying to clean her up a little bit, you know.
Come on, we want the Max we know and love back. Give us our old Max.
Yeah, if I'm sounding like an absolute squid on the pod, you know why. No vino.
Yeah, no wine every single night.
it's not sauced.
Oh
Nah,
man. Yeah, no,
that's
it's gonna
great.
be it's season is done, but we're I think it's gonna go quick this year, you know. I think we got a couple fun trips, maybe early season next year on the radar, and got shows coming up, and it always goes by, quicker than you think. But yeah, great 2025 season. I'm excited to, I don't know if this is going to be on the next pod or the one after, because I know we're taking a break at some point in time in December, but I'm excited to open up the yearbook and the see how the 2025 New Year's resolutions went down. I'm a little nervous. I don't think it's going to be good tape for
Oh,
me, and I think Brian is going to come out looking real good in the resolution.
yeah. We'll double check on those probably next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I think so. We'll have to listen back on our New Year's
Didn't we
res
yeah,
pod.
you gotta listen. I thought we had an idea.
Probably.
Like you set a resolution for someone else in the pod or something, and then like they gotta work towards that goal or something like that
it was a long time ago.
in
I
terms
don't
of
really
fish catching.
remember. I just remember off the top of my head, surface level, that like the ones I remember I said, I think I didn't accomplish a single one of them. And I think the ones that you set out for that I remember, you accomplished all of them,
Yeah,
I think.
I think
So,
you're right.
but we'll look back. We'll run the tape. We'll run the
Run the
tape
tape.
and
Don't worry,
we'll,
buddy.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh wait.
Don't hold your breath
We'll see
here.
how they shape up.
Yeah, that's all. Well, anyways,
Mhm.
before we go any further, we are going to have on our good buddy Luke with LB Fishing Guide Service. Luke Bogdanovic, I want to say. I can't remember. I'm gonna ask him.
Sounds right.
Um, last name. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Bogdanovic.
Bitch. I don't know if it's Bitch. No, no. Either way, we'll ask him. But
Yeah, we'll forget.
he's gonna hop on here. We're gonna chit chat with him for a bit. So hopefully everybody enjoys that. All right, here on the line we got Luke Bogdanovic from LB Fishing Guide Service out of kind of north central Wisconsin, those river systems and whatnot up there, like Price County area, if I'm not mistaken. Great to have you back on the pod. You are a reoccurring guest now. We had you on, I believe we just kind of chatted about that last year. It's great to have you back on. We're gonna do a little recap of the year, chit chat on rivers, and yeah, we'll see where it takes us. But Luke, great to have you on. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. It's good to get back on the pod with you guys and chit chat it up about the fish that we love, the old muskellunge.
Is your boat winterized already?
Thankfully, I don't have to winterize a raft, so it's pretty nice to not have to worry about
Oh, nice.
Good question. Good question.
Great
Yeah.
question. Good research, Brian.
I thought you also had like a jet boat.
No, I got a little lake boat too, but I think I only got it on that thing maybe a dozen times this year because I was just doing so many float trips pretty much every single weekend. So I didn't really run
Nice.
it all that much, unfortunately, but oh well.
Yeah. No, that's all good. Yeah, I know. Well, we got to chat in person. We actually got out in the boat, Luke, you and I this fall. Muskies didn't want to play, but that's all right. They already hated me most of that week anyways, so kind of is what it is. But yeah, you were telling me that you pretty much now are I mean, you always have done like the river thing. But you just ran a ton of river trips and that's pretty much all you did when you could do that. How'd you
Oh,
like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've grown up on rivers my entire life, so I'm kind of a little bit more biased towards that. But yeah, I'd say probably 95% of my clientele is all river float people. I think I only ran two lake trips this year. So, I mean, no
Wow.
complaints for me, no complaints at all for me in that aspect. But I mean, it was pretty nice. I mean, it's nice to have that good variety of rivers up here, so I'm not going back to the same place back all the time and whatnot. And yeah, just jumping around and going where the fish are.
No, that's good. I mean, you look at the map on where you're at, just kind of generalize, I guess, Phillips area, if you would. It's ton of rivers, not a lot of lakes. So you
Yeah.
are in like the heart of it. I mean, you can go down south a little bit, you can go a little bit east. We don't have a lot this way, but then you go a little bit west and you get into more of like the Chippewa River Basin, and there's
Yep.
all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff over there that you can do. I mean, river, it's narrow, but like once you start floating it, like it is a lot of water. It's overwhelming. When I was with you, I was trying, when I was casting, it's kind of cold. My hands are getting cold here and there. But when I was casting, I'm like, oh, I love this spot. I'm gonna get. Oh shit, we're through it. Oh, this looks great. Oh shit, we're through it. Like that's the one biggie there. So obviously you probably would rather have multiple people casting or so describe your raft because that's new since we last talked.
Yeah, yep. So my current
Fantastic
raft,
raft.
it's a Stealth Craft Hooligan Whitewater Edition or a Swift Current as they call it, and it's a three-person raft, me in the middle rowing, and then one guy in front, one guy in back, so two anglers. And if it's me and some family or friends, I'll be fishing as well in the middle instead of just piloting. But like when you and I were out, Gus, it was you in the front casting, me rowing, and then obviously we had live bait behind us, so that kind of limits me from being able to fish too much. Just trying to keep the boat straight and everything, and don't want to have anything get tangled up or whatnot. Because as soon as I stop rowing and stand up, the rear of the raft, the frame is heavier and bulkier back there, so the back end starts going towards the downriver. So we'd be basically doing 360s as we were floating down current if I would have been fishing too. So in the summertime, I don't mind that at all because I mean, who gives a shit? Just cast wherever you can, no matter what direction the boat's facing. But I mean, when you got live bait in the fall, you got to be a lot more diligent with boat control and whatnot. But yeah, and going back to having more than one person fishing with so many spots at your disposal on no matter what river you're fishing, like you were just saying, there's one spot on this side of the river, but you look over to this side, no, that spot maybe looks better. Maybe I want to cast over there. So it's nice to have a guy in front and back fishing so you can have one person covering both sides of the river at once just to cover that much more water. With one person, it's tough. Like when I'm running guide trips and there's only one person, I'm just thinking, man, should I be fishing with this guy right now? Or I'm like, all right, you're taking one cast there on that side, and then you're going on that side, and you're just going to do that the entire float as we go down.
So what does that look like then if, when somebody hooks up when you're running a trip like that, as you mentioned, if you were to stand up, the raft starts kind of doing 360s, and I would imagine that could get pretty chaotic at
It does.
times. Yeah.
Absolutely. Usually when someone hooks up, I'll still run the oars for a little bit just to kind of keep the boat as straight as possible. I mean, I say that right now, but like when you're in that moment and someone hooks a big fish out there, a lot of times I'll just move the oars right back up and get the net ready just with the adrenaline going. But if I can tell myself to, or if I can remember to, I'll try to do as much boat control as I can to keep us in good position. And then when the fish gets closer, then I'll put the oars up, grab the net, and hopefully get the fish in the bag right then and there. But yeah, we've had some pretty chaotic net jobs and some pretty crisp, clean ones. I mean, there's no shortage of chaos that occurs when you hook a fish in those small rivers.
Yeah, and just like, the fact that you're in a raft, right? Not a boat. So,
Yep, exactly.
you're not running around the boat trying to net the fish. You probably have like your designated spot to net them and all that
Yep,
stuff. And
pretty much.
yeah, geez. Well, before we get into kind of how your season was, I did want to ask you this before I forget. So, I caught you on a couple of YouTube videos, I think, this year with shoreline
Yep.
angling. Is that Caleb, right?
Yep. Caleb and
Yeah.
Bradley.
So yeah, well, first of all, shout out to those guys. Their YouTube videos are just are epic. Like it's just kind of organized chaos. Like we talked about this river fishing and like it's so awesome to like watch because it's something that I'm not super familiar with and just to watch you guys like crawling through the woods, finding different spots to fish
hmm
from shore, fishing from these rafts and these like crazy spots on the river. It's just sick. But kind of take us through that. Like, have you filmed in the past? Sorry if I haven't seen those videos, but was that your kind of YouTube debut or?
So in college, my buddy Colin, he had a little YouTube channel going on, nothing big or anything, just kind of some fun little stuff that he would post. And we did quite a few YouTube videos. The channel's called Northwood Sportsman, in case you guys have ever heard of that or not. So
Check it out.
we filmed quite a few videos on there, and then I think it was actually just last fall. I had the Shoreline guys, Brad and Caleb, up for a weekend, and we had a pretty incredible 3-day adventure, floating suckers and whatnot. I think it was the first weekend of October, and it was just a blast. That was the first time I had ever actually fished with those guys, and they they had a ton of action. It was absolutely awesome. And then the this season they came up for a couple days in June, and that was the second time that we had fished together. Actually, no, third time because I fished with them in December last year as well. So yeah, that was the third time that they came up this season. And we've caught fish every time. We've had a blast every time. And I mean, it amazes me how insane those guys are. Like I ask them questions all the time, like, you guys really climb fences on private property and whatnot to go to good fishing spots and stuff. And I mean, they're just telling me all sorts of crazy stories and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, they do some wacky things, but they catch giant fish. So I mean, heck, all power to them.
Yeah, no doubt. I just think it's just fun watching those types of videos where there's just like it's just pure chaos, which is one clip of just like an insane fish and then it just flies to another clip of them walking through the woods or being out on a raft. And yeah, the episode of you was pretty epic. Yeah, it did look like you guys boated some really awesome fish and yeah, no, it kind of made me want to like get out on a river, It was just like this looks like a lot of fun.
No, absolutely. You got that right. I mean, it's totally different, very, very unique. It's definitely a whole other side of the coin compared to lake fishing, that's for sure.
So overall, how was the 2025 season then for you?
Good. It was a really, really good season. My best muskie season to date as of right now. I mean, in terms of guiding, I had more trips this year than my previous 2 years combined, so that's really, really good.
Nice.
And then we boated so far right around 100 muskies. So I mean, nothing super super crazy. I mean,
It's
I'd
pretty
say that's pretty
crazy.
darn. I'd say that's pretty good with me still working a full-time job and trying to do this just on the weekends whenever I can get out. So
Yeah.
a lot of really really big fish. I think I had right around a dozen first muskies landed, like a dozen personal bests or so in my boat, and just a whole menagerie of fish of all sizes from dinks up to a couple really really big ones. So it was nice. Lot of really really good fish this year. It was fun.
That's awesome. Highly impressive. I mean, that's sweet that you're getting a bunch more clientele. I mean, I was super happy to hear that when we were chatting this fall on that. When you do, one question I got for you as a guide and kind of curious because you're obviously advertising on a raft, which you'd think it might limit almost your clientele because you described when you do these float trips, you got to put in and then you just float to the end. Like in
Hmm.
between, you can't just be like, hey, let's go back to the landing or whatever. Um, have you gotten some like newer people to the sport or like for the most part are people booking that are a little bit more how am I trying to say this? Like
Experienced.
no, it's
Seasoned.
experience, yeah, seasoned with musky angling or what's that look like?
So thankfully, probably 85 to 90% of my clientele this year was all repeat people, and they just booked in a couple extra
Mm,
days with me. So that really took up a lot of trips, which was nice. And
awesome.
thankfully, those guys are also fairly experienced to pretty seasoned musky anglers. So I didn't really have
Yeah.
to deal with too much of people who didn't have a lot of skill. But then at the same time, I also had probably a dozen trips or so of people who were really new to the sport who had never caught the first muskies before.
Hmm.
And that definitely made for a little bit of a learning curve, just obviously teaching how to use a bait caster and whatnot and stuff like that, and just giving them the whole rundown of how musky fishing goes. And thankfully, those were actually some of my best trips where we had a lot of numbers and, first muskies caught, personal bests caught, and then broken shortly afterwards. And sorry, cats are fighting in the background. But
Oh, you're good.
but yeah, it was really really nice, and I think I definitely got pretty lucky and blessed in that aspect in terms of the trips that we had this year.
Is
So
there, go ahead, Brian.
I'm just curious, what's the total length of the raft?
So the raft is right around 16 feet long and 6 foot wide from the outside of the
Yeah,
tune.
that's
And
pretty
I
big.
think the tunes are 18 inches in diameter. And then I think that gives me about 3.5 to 4 foot like width on the inside. I mean, Gus, you'd be able to describe it too, because you were obviously standing in the front of it. But
Well,
yeah,
what's your storage situation then in there for baits and just tackle and everything else?
so we can actually fit quite a few baits and boxes and whatnot and stuff. Like I've got 5 rod holders I can fit rods in there. I've got a whole bunch of space below my feet, and then like where the seats sit for the people, like below, like where I sit, and then the guy in front of me, there's actually space underneath their chairs where you can slide stuff under. I mean, you
Nice.
can fit actually a lot more stuff in there than you'd think just by looking at it. It's like, can you really fit that in there? And then yeah, you just slide the cooler right under their seat, and then oh yeah, look at that.
Did you have any puncturing problems with the raft?
This one I've been pretty lucky so far. I mean, the last one I had it for 2 seasons, and I did have two very, very small, minuscule punctures. But I mean, thankfully they give you a repair kit with that comes standard with the raft, and they show you how to use it and everything. But
Is the repair kit just Flex Seal?
I'd actually have to look because the glue container is unlabeled, so I don't know. I'll have to
Like
email.
seal, wham!
Yeah.
Just paste it on there. We're good. Like while it's underwater,
Probably
just
should have an emergency
wham.
bottle in the
Put a
boat
Phil
just in
Swift
case.
sticker right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
hilarious.
it's pretty much they give you a couple rolls of like the material that the tubes are made out of. It's like PVC vinyl or something like that. I don't remember the exact terminology. And then obviously the glue, it's like some kind of cement glue that hardens pretty quick whenever you put it on there. And yeah, it works really well. So I
Nice.
mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
much inevitable that you're going to get a puncture or a tear or something at some point, just with the all the amount of debris that we're floating over on these rivers with rocks and logs and stuff. And I mean, sometimes there's even pieces of metal or whatnot, or like a broken
Yeah.
tree at the end sitting on the bottom of the river. I've seen it all and whatnot. So you just got to be a little bit careful and just know that it's not a if it's going to happen, it's a when.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're going down a lot and after doing that, I mean, some of those rapids, you're going pretty quick and
No, for
if you
sure. Yeah.
scrape a rock the wrong way, maybe, I mean, because you can feel it when you're going and scraping over the rocks like you're like,
Mhm.
"Damn, how is this thing holding up?" But it's strong. strong material. And yeah, Brian, when I was in it, like it's more spacious than you think. Like when I first saw his raft, I was like, holy shit, like we got a
The
lot of
big one.
space. That's actually kind of what I was sort of gonna recircle back to on why I asked about like clientele. I didn't by any means be like, you know, saying that, people that don't musky fish a lot or haven't like shouldn't book with you. They absolutely should, like that's awesome that you're getting new people to the sport too and getting them on fish. It's just everything's close quarters. I just wasn't, because already in a boat, sometimes you've maybe been with people, you get a little nervous when they're casting. It's like, oh boy, like keep it
For sure.
overhead. It's
I'm
like,
definitely ducking while rowing at points here and there.
yeah, that's just one thing I figured you probably would want to watch out for or make sure, you teach people the overhand rather than the blind sidearm.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Sure,
definitely.
you got to
So.
be like, ultra prepared on those trips because, yeah, if you're, a good distance from a landing or a car, it's not like you can just, open it up wide 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour across the lake and get right back to a landing. If you needed to do that, like you guys are kind of having to have figure it out on the spot,
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of a definitely primitive in that aspect. But I mean, yeah, I got first aid kit with me at all times and whatnot. And I'm always, if I have people that are a little bit nervous in terms of like what kind of room they have for casting in there, I'm like, all right, you cast over the shoulder in the back, you cast over this one in the front and whatnot. Don't let any lures go over my head. I don't need a new earring while we're floating down the river or anything like
Have
that.
you
But
had any hooks and hands or bad cuts from musky teeth or anything like that?
usually all the musky teeth cuts are in my hands from when I'm dealing with the fish in the net and whatnot. But I had a smallie trip earlier this spring where a guy he ended up catching a pike, and I offered to, I'm like, here, let me land that fish for you, and I'll unhook it and whatnot. He's like, no, no, I got it and all that. So he grabs the fish. Obviously, you already know what's coming. One head shake, and then boom, he gets a whopper plopper hook right into his thumb. And we were thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna have. Thankfully, we were only like maybe a couple hundred yards from the takeout, so I was like, okay, well, this shouldn't be too bad. We can just go to the end and whatnot, and get it out and everything. I'll get you back home. And he's like, no, just give me your players, and I'll just rip it out right here. So I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? So I handed him my players, and he's just like, all right, three, two, one, boom, and just pulls it right out of his thumb.
Oh,
And then obviously
Come
we finished the
on.
trip right after that and probably landed like another 15 smallies or something on that same topwater lure. So I'm like,
Jesus.
what a
dude, you're
beast.
a little bit more crazy than I am, but hey,
Yeah.
I'm glad you chose to do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
Full barb in
What the
there.
hell?
And then another one is I had two fly guys with me this fall musky fishing, and it was a father and son, and the father was not quite as experienced as his son was, and I don't even know what the dad was doing, but he was trying to he cast it over the wrong shoulder, so I was ducking, and the fly hit the son's glasses right along his temple right here, and
Oh,
basically took his glasses off of his face.
oh
That
shit.
was a really really close call. That one
Yeah.
sent a few chills down my spine, but thankfully that was it. I basically just sat there and watched the two guys yell at each other for a little bit, like, "What are
Yeah.
you doing? Are you serious? You almost hooked me."
Don't want to dig a hook out of a temple.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun.
I
But
mean, shit
we got pretty
happens,
lucky.
Shit happens. Like, that's just part of it. I mean, even guys that have a bunch of experience on hooking fish or handling fish, will just catch the stray hook and
Oh, absolutely. It happens way more than you think too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Gus, well, just real quick. So going back to your 2025 season, you said it was, your best year you've had. Is that you think just because of the amount of time you spent on the water, the fact that you're kind of, honing in on your skills, or do you think the river was actually just in a better place this year, flows, all that stuff?
I would say definitely all three for sure. I was like I said, way more trips this year than last 2 years combined. So definitely time on the water plays a huge aspect. That's definitely number one. And we just ended up getting, I don't want to say lucky, but like pretty much every single float that I ran, we had opportunities at fish. Like there was no, you have those days sometimes where you go out there and you're doing everything works and it's just not paying off for you. But no, we didn't have any days like that. We were always seeing fish, moving fish, catching them, losing them, all of that. But yeah, that definitely played a huge aspect in it. Just time on the water, getting lucky. And in terms of flows, I actually wish we would have had more water in some of the certain rivers. Like a lot, I was telling Gus when he floated with me, a lot of the action rivers that I like to float in the fall, where you can have, up to like 10 plus fish days sometimes, they didn't have enough water in them to float just because we weren't getting any rain whatsoever. Like there's one that I really like to frequent, or I frequented it quite a few times last fall, and we had a lot of really, really killer days in like October and November. And I walked down to the put in and it was like 2 foot below normal. So I'm like, the river looks like a creek right now. It's just, yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
obviously you can't do nothing in that situation, but it was kind of unfortunate that we didn't have the water to float some of those rivers. But hopefully next year it'll turn out a little bit better and we can get some more rain in the late fall period.
Yeah, definitely needed that. Saw, found some lakes around here that were starting to get low, whether they're seepage lakes or flowages or chains of lakes. Everywhere kind of just seemed uh slightly low, or creek fed lakes and whatnot. But yeah, I totally I forgot to mention when we did go out, we targeted trophy water, as you called it. You're like,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
like it's a one bite type of place, and typically the one bite is bigger, and also, like you said, some of the bigger fish you've seen or hooked or whatnot caught have been in that stretch. So it was cool to see. I mean, I was like, all the pools I was looking at after all the rapids and the slow areas and the typical deeper stuff you'd like in the fall, or the slower, deeper stuff, eddies and whatnot. Like, it looked really good. Um, I definitely liked the look of that for sure. What I was going to ask actually was kind of piggybacking after Max's question of like what you thought to the, why you had such a great season of catches and whatnot. You guided a bunch. You probably, I would assume you've also been keep honing in on your craft on all
Mhm.
these floats and these rivers, but did you get a chance to venture do any new stretches? Was there a new stretch this year that just kind of balled out that you're like, oh, this is really good, and then you took a trip or two, some out of towners there, and you just kept catching, or what? You still
So
traveling around?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now. Let's see. One, two, three. We actually ended up exploring and landing fish out of, I think, 4 or 5 completely new rivers to us this year.
Oh
Obviously,
wow.
I didn't go explore those with customers until after I first landed fishing them. It was more so just me and
Mhm.
some buddies and whatnot. And yeah, but we ventured out quite a bit and went not just up here in northern Wisconsin. We traveled down to central Wisconsin too, a little bit area, kind of like where I went to school and whatnot, and explored some new stuff. And it ended up paying off really, really well. We caught some nice fish and ended up discovering some new areas where I can now guide on in the future because I know what to expect when I go to those areas. So that was definitely a really, really cool thing that happened this year for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I've actually had some people that have booked me and are like specifically, yeah, some were like specifically, I want to learn this lake, and I've told people straight up like, hey, I've never fished that lake. Are you all right with that? And actually, people have been like, yeah, sure, we'll go there. But in a lake, you can look at a lake map and you're like, oh, here's a point, here's an inside turn,
Yep.
here's a cut. This is probably where the weeds are going to be, rocks, mid lake stuff, blah blah blah. River, you can't really do that. I mean, obviously there could be just a crazy guy that books you like, "Hey, let's go do something brand new," or whatever. But you could get there and just like, I don't know, trees in the water, access is messed, the takeout's messed up, this and that. You could be in the middle of nowhere. I mean, these rivers are remote, some of them. Some of them not so much, but some of them are like
Absolutely.
in the middle of nowhere. But it's super cool. I mean, your raft is large and luxurious, I would say, but I mean, you can say it better than I would. I mean, you can go on some skinny stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I floated a couple of them this year that were probably no more than 30 yards width, not even a full cast length in terms of width. And those are the rivers you got to be really careful of in terms of flow because if you've never been to them before, then you really don't know what the ideal
That's
height,
right.
like gauge height or CFS cubic feet per second is for like the ideal floating height. And uh, one of the rivers that I explored this year, it was actually on opening weekend. We went and explored a new one, kind of a little bit south of where I am right now. and it was way too low. Little did I know, because like where we put in, it was kind of like a really deep pool right there outside Bend. So it was like, okay, and so it was kind of hard to tell that it was super low and like just grass all the way down to the river. There was really no like high water mark that was visible or anything to tell what, what normal levels would be. And then we got to the first rapids, and it was basically like pea gravel on the surface and little channels going all the way through it. So we ended up floating like 6 or 7 miles that day, and every single shallow spot we all had to get out and drag the raft through.
That's yeah.
It was
That's what I was
terrible.
gonna ask because I was like, if we had a raft like yours, I mean, we always look at lakes on just Google Earth and stuff, and just like, figure out you can learn a lot on Google Earth. But if you're looking at a river, you find a road that crosses, like, oh, there's a launch there. We can go check that out. It looks like a good stretch. But yeah, I mean, like
Mhm.
you said, you run into those places that are just, you're not expecting it to be a bone dry rapid, and then
Yeah.
is your boat movable with just yourself, or do you need like a few guys?
I've been pretty lucky to be able to move it for pretty much most of the rapids that we end up getting stuck in. I mean, the whole thing only weighs like 230 pounds, so it's not, obviously it's pretty maneuverable with just
Yeah.
one guy. I mean, obviously if you get pinned or jammed between a couple rocks in a certain way, you're gonna have to you might get yourself in quite a bit of a pickle, and you'll need to have a couple extra hands. But no, it's pretty easy. But I mean, usually when we do get stuck or something like that on the river, I'll just hop out, and if one of the other guys who was with me wants to hop out and help me push or something, I've never had someone complain about having to do that. I mean, it's all part of the
Yeah.
adventure. So
Otherwise, you're gonna have to sit there and wait for rain.
pretty much, and just start praying to Mother Nature,
Yeah.
but twiddling your thumbs on the river.
All right.
To keep going on the subject of your year as a recap, um, big catches, PBs, all that stuff. We chatted about this the other week. Do you got like a top three baits, like your bait MVPs, as we called them?
Ooh. Um,
I know we didn't even like give you a like I don't know, yeah, something to go off of.
oh no, that's fine. Let's
Um,
see. I'm not gonna pick any specific like time frame here, but Musky Frenzy, IC7 or 8-9 Stagger, um, Lake X Fat Bastard. I mean, I'm gonna list more than three, but kind of the same
sure.
family at least. So Lake X Fat Bastard and Cannonball Jr. And then I think I showed it to you, Gus. It was that bass glide bait,
Oh yeah.
that small one. I think Raptor Lures is the company that makes that. It's a really cheap, affordable glide bait that's basically indestructible for how cheap it is. But we ended up catching a lot of fish on those. So that's a little plug for the guy who makes those. But yeah, really good little downsizer bait. So
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, those glides that
You get into the
oh shoot, Max. He just
oh,
oh,
forgot to pay
oh,
the
you
internet bill again.
yeah, you might. I was gonna say I didn't hear you talking, so I hopped in and then all of a sudden you just showed up. Your voice. Sorry. Hop in.
Keep her going. Oh, I was just gonna say, how'd you get into those Raptor glide baits?
so before I get into that, there's one more bait that I got to talk about.
Sure.
Do you guys know the booth at some of the shows, CC Lures? Have you seen those
Yes.
before?
Yep.
So he fished with me this year, and I've gotten to be pretty good friends with him. And his swim baits were actually a killer lure as well. I completely forgot to mention those. We caught a lot of fish on his hard-bodied swim baits. Those things are absolutely dynamite on all the stretches of river that I floated. I don't think we floated a single stretch that didn't get looks on those baits. Those things are awesome.
Yeah. Before then you get into the Raptor on those hard body swim baits. I've seen those all around. A bunch of people have made them. I've actually never thrown one before. Is it still just like any other swim bait? Just cast it out, reel it in, or does it have like,
Pretty
do
much. I
you
mean, it's a
rip
lot more
pause it or
buoyant.
what?
It's a lot more buoyant, obviously, with the wood body. At least his are made of a wood body, so you
Okay.
can you can give it like some pulls and pulses like you would any other swim bait out there, and it basically just suspends and does a really good body roll, a really good flash way out there when you're doing a retrieve. And I don't know. I just really like how buoyant it is. It's really good to use with like inexperienced people. You don't want someone to be casting a lure that sinks right away and they're going to be getting snags, especially with the areas that I like to fish. So it's really nice to just, throw that on, cast it out, reel it back in. I mean, it's really good. Probably one of my favorite swim baits. I like it. It's probably one of my top three favorite swim baits for sure.
Gus,
Is
that's
the
not the same one that you got, right? What
no,
what's that
no, I
hard
don't have
body
a
swim
hard.
bait?
I have a hard body swim bait. What?
Yeah,
What?
with
Uh,
the plastic tail with it's connected by like chain. Um, he also makes glide baits that we were using this year.
Huge blank right now.
It's the
Right
carp
in front of
glide
me.
bait, same guy that makes that. We got him at the expo.
Oh, the Rusties.
Rusty's.
Oh, with the hardtail.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, crackhead, I think it's called. Those
Is it similar to
would
that?
no, it's got like an actual soft plastic tail.
Okay.
Not and his is kind of like a search bait, like the blade in front spinner, and then the tail shaking back and forth. The one thing I saw with using that, actually when I fished with Brian Scaife, he caught one with me using that. They go kind of deep. So I'm not like saying it's not a good river option. I think it would be a tougher river option because you got to drop those casts into a freaking bucket, and if you're not reeling right away, like you're just snagged on a log or rocks, or I mean, it's shallow water sometimes. So
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm picking
it's
snags out all the time and whatnot when we're floating
yeah,
down those rivers.
I snagged a few times, but I always do. That doesn't surprise Brian and Max probably. Um,
Nice.
So yeah, the buoyant swim bait, that makes sense why that would be good. One last question on that one. Um, are his tails easily replaceable? Have you
Yes.
had to?
Yep. I've pretty much had to replace. I think I've got like 5 or 6 of his swim mates, and I've replaced the tails on all of them at this point. Basically, it's just a screw eye that sticks out of the back. You just pull them off, and then I think he uses Loctite gel control is the glue that he uses. And you
Loctite.
just basically, obviously, I'm trying to remember what swim bait brand. I think they're. I don't remember the brand of tails that he uses for the paddle tails, but basically you basically cut them in half because they're too long to start right out of the package, and then just put them basically just stick them right over that screw eye so the screw eye is all the way through, and then they're nice and uptight against the body, and just glue it, and then you're good to go. So really super easy change and replace method that he's got going. So I'm pretty impressed with it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, having something like Loctite, everybody should have. For I mean, if you got like shallow invaders and any like the hard body to soft plastic baits out there, like that is dying dogs even, super glue works or whatever. But no, that's good info for anybody to use.
Got
On
to
any
have a
of those
few
types of
bottles in your
baits.
tackle box at all times.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Um,
That glide bait though, sorry, we sidetracked
No,
from
that's
that.
okay.
How'd you hear about that one?
So when I was at the Milwaukee Expo, actually Raptor Lures booth was right next to my booth. So we ended up shooting the crap with that guy for those 3 days and talking to a whole bunch and whatnot. And he kind of sold me and a couple of my buddies on some of those glides and gave us a pretty good deal on them. And pretty much from the first day I started using them till the day I put them away, we were getting fish on them like crazy. So, and I don't really know why, so to speak. Like it's not much different than any other glide you would throw. I mean, obviously it's a little bit different of an action and whatnot, just the way that it darts back and forth through the water. And with it being super buoyant, you can basically just pause it and it just hangs there and doesn't even sink whatsoever. So it's a great bait for like super late season and whatnot, or super early season, basically whenever the water's cold or anything like that, or on a post frontal day and whatnot. But I don't know, the fish just kind of went crazy for them, at least where I used them.
Yeah, you're not the first to bring up a lure like that. We had David Park, Decam on
Yep.
recently, and he talked about his Poseidon swim baits, I think.
Yeah.
Hard-bodied jointed glide baits, and he was describing it well with just like chopping almost. Like were you just using the reel with those, or would you tap
Yep.
it kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a
With the
glide bait?
Raptor ones, pretty much my rod tip stayed perfectly stationary and
Mm.
I'm just using the reel handle the whole time.
That seems pretty consistent with those like hard bodied bass glide baits. I think what I was trying to say earlier, it's like shit, I don't want to give like the bass community any credit, but they did pretty good job with the glide baits.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of the ones they make for big largies are giant, like they're 10, 12 inches long. It's like we should sell these
Yeah.
at a musky show.
Yeah.
just 1/100th of the people that would buy them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Especially for how much they
Yeah.
charge for them.
Yeah,
Right.
no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, some of those bass ones are crazy, right?
Arm and a
Like
leg.
they're
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Like
Hundreds
you
of
could buy a
dollars.
brand new rod and reel musky combo for the price of a 10-inch glide bait sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, David was saying something about like price range, or maybe it was off pod, or maybe I think it was on pod. He was saying like there's obviously like the cheaper ones that you can use, but if it hits a rock, it might explode
Hmm.
upon impact. But then as soon as he said like you get into that $70 price range, he said there's pretty damn durable. Especially like even though they are extremely expensive, but he's like those 100, 150, 200 plus ones are made out of like a much better plastic um that can kind of handle the abuse. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
for
might be
sure.
just talking out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So, um, that's yeah, good bait MVP. Do you use rubber much on the river?
A little bit, yeah. Yep, we'll throw some shallow tubes and stuff like that, and basically any kind of shallow running rubber, your shallow bulldogs, Medusas, tubes, any of that stuff. But I mean, yeah, that produced some fish this year, but still the top contenders for me have always been like the straight retrieve style kind of stuff, just because with how fast you're moving and just being able to cover water that much easier. Because like even when you fish with me, Gus, you might only get one or two casts in a spot before you're already past it. So you want to be able to kind of cast into it, get back to the boat, and throw another one in there as quickly as possible. And I mean, it seems like river muskies are more opportunistic feeders, in my opinion. Like if they're gonna eat, they're gonna eat because they might only see that prey item that goes by them for a split second. Like they don't have any time to follow behind it nice and slow and observe it like they would on a lake. I mean, you'll still have slow lazy follows and whatnot on a river, but usually it's you're gonna get eat out on the cast or you're not gonna have anything come in.
Right.
You you mentioned those shallow tubes. I would say that's a bait that I have not thrown much, maybe only a handful of times. And honestly, I don't know if it's just one of those deals where I'm so used to working the mid-depth rig or even the deep rig that
Mhm.
the shallow rig just feels a little bit foreign to me. But how do you like working those shallow tubes? Because yeah, I'd be curious to hear how you use them.
Pretty much. Obviously, you're going to do the same kind of rip and pause technique as you would with, a normal weighted one or a heavy weighted one. But you got to,
So is it like a slow rip or is it
yeah,
like
yep.
capping?
It's definitely not like the midsummer or summer peak, basically like almost like hook set retrieve where you're really, really pounding that thing when you're reeling it in. But you definitely have to take the buoyancy and the hang time of it into consideration on your retrieve. Like you basically with it being a shallow runner, you'll see it come up towards the surface and slowly flow back down, and then come up towards the surface, slowly flow back down. So it's kind of nice because you're actually able to see your lure. Normally, when you're throwing rubber, you don't see that because your bait's down, however many feet when you're fishing it. So it's kind of nice. You'll see a lot more visual eats when you're throwing it, and that's not just with shallow tubes either. That's with any kind of shallow running rubber out on the rivers and whatnot.
hmm Yeah, Max, when I have the little time used or honestly have seen a shallow tube work, it almost looks like it's literally a slow motion top couple feet of the water column version of a mid depth, basically.
Okay,
Like the way it's being worked, it's literally the
makes
same,
sense.
but yeah, half speed or whatever. Otherwise,
And
you'll blow them out of the water and they'll look all goofy
yeah,
and
yeah,
twirly
and
and
we use a lot of them with the blades on the back. The dangle blade just adds
Mm.
that little bit of extra water resistance, so it just gets that slight bit more hang time, and obviously that flash off the back is never going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
be curious. I don't think I've ever thrown a shallow rig with a blade on the back, and that might be maybe why
I never have
I'm
either.
not as big of a fan, just because I feel like they're almost more unpredictable than the mid-depth rigs. At least I guess from my experience, but that's actually an interesting play, throwing a blade on the back of a shallow rig, because I could see that being pretty good in I don't know other situations on lakes that I fish.
Hmm. For sure.
So
Yeah, I mean, we should
anyways,
probably use the shallow rigs in the early season. I think we overlooked the shit out of that up
Yeah.
here. Or even like the late fall. It's hard to get away from that mid depth with the blade and be able to jig it and whatnot. We were actually just talking about jigging in the intro. I have one thing to bring up, Luke. We chatted about, and I threw it a lot. The beaver bait. How was that in your boat this year? Was that like the first year you ran it, or you've used it
I've I,
before?
I've ran them the last couple years, and it's not a huge producer, but it's definitely like a dark horse type of bait. Like it's always going to be, sitting at the top of the box, ready to be grabbed at any times. Like the best thing I can compare it to is like a castable fly or like a
Yeah.
traditional big musky fly. I mean, just the buoyancy that they have and like the undulating tinsel and the like yours was deer hair, Gus, but I mean even the standard ones with whatever material they use for it, like you just let that thing pause and it's still moving. Like just the material and the tail and everything, it's still moving so well throughout the water column when you're retrieving it. It's there's no other bait that you can put it in the same category as in terms of like one that you can use on a bait caster. I mean, it's its own thing, and it's absolutely a killer bait if you really put the time in with using them. And I don't think I put enough time into throwing them this year, and I'm kind of punching myself in the face for not doing that. Thinking back, like, man, we probably could have used this here or caught some fish if we used it on that day when it was really cold or something like that. But I mean, I'm gonna try to get myself and my customers to throw them a lot more next year. But yeah, it's definitely a really good bait, especially when you're targeting muskies and rivers. Absolutely.
Did
Yeah.
you use a castable fly this year much at all? I know Gus got
Um,
one in the off season, and I don't
I
know.
did not. I used a traditional fly. Like I dabble with musky fly fishing here and there a little bit, and like I was
Yeah.
saying earlier, I ran a good number of actual musky fly fishing trips, guided trips this year. So I had a lot of guys with me throwing big streamers and whatnot, and that's probably the one thing I could compare to throwing a beaver. Obviously, your standard musky fly is going to be a lot more buoyant. Like it's not going to sink hardly at all. I mean, the line will sink before the fly will and whatnot, but.
Yeah. How'd you do on the fly trips you did this year?
Good. We had fish action on pretty much all of them. There was a couple of them where we didn't land anything, unfortunately, but that was just because of bad hook sets, not strip setting and trout setting when you get your fly eaten, unfortunately. But I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I can't complain. As the guy, if you can get your customers just opportunities at fish, that's all you can really do in that aspect.
Do you think, did you notice any trend with like fish being more prone to eat like a fly or a bucktail? Or is it like you said, they're just kind of ambushing anything that comes over their head in the river? But if it's a good fly fisherman, were they, being successful in their catches?
Oh, absolutely. And kind of bouncing off of muskies too, like with smallmouth. I ran a decent number of smallmouth trips this year, and just the difference when you have someone who's really good at casting. Like I had two guys with me that were like basically dropping dimes every single cast with their little bait casters, and they were landing like inches from shore every single time. And like that day, we caught like dang near 100 smallmouth in one float. And then you have some people who aren't as experienced, and they're landing their bait, 5-10 feet from the shore, or hey, cast towards that rock, and they cast 10 feet upriver or downriver from it. It's like, yeah, you're not going to get as many eats. And the same thing goes for musky fishing too. Like if you tell someone to cast into an eddy or right in the dead center of an eddy on the shoreline and they land, in the current outside of it, they're probably obviously if there's a fish in there, he might come out and eat it, but the chances of you actually getting that bait right in front of the muskie's mouth that's probably sitting
Yeah.
there is going to be way smaller for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And you said you were running a good amount of sucker trips too. I would
Hmm.
imagine suckers being probably their main forage in these rivers.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
guys getting a good amount of eats on live bait.
Oh yeah, I went through a lot of suckers from probably late September all the way through ice up. It was insane and whatnot. Trying to keep those things alive in between trips, but yeah, that's definitely there are days where you don't have any action on artificial, and all they want is just that meat that you're dragging behind the boat, and it's nuts. Some of the eats that you see, like Gus, you saw it. Like my sucker rigs don't have any weight on them, so it's just the fish is just swimming right below the surface, and you can sometimes look behind you and see it.
That'd
Sometimes
be
you'll just be
cool.
rolling in, you'll just hear the big behind
Oh,
you,
sweet.
like basically a top water live baity. It's ridiculous. They just go ballistic for it sometimes.
That'd be
Just
awesome.
total ham. Yeah. No, your rig's cool. I like because you can like fly them down some rapids and stuff, and it's not that deep that you're fishing in. You basically had bobber to the leader of the rig to the
Hmm.
sucker and
Yep.
no weight. Like it's super free swimming. Like you almost like when you're going down, you I guess I'm gonna ask the question. How do you kind of want your sucker moving through the river? Like, how do you just let them like get towards the banks, or do you just not even touch them ever? Just put them back there, and
So
wherever they want to swim, that's where they swim.
So pretty much when I'm running a sucker, I'm very, very diligent with always looking behind me and making sure it's a good distance. I try to keep it maybe 25, 30 yards behind it because if he's too far back there and he gets eaten, that's going to be a heck of a chaos fest when you hand the guy the rod and you turn around and you try to go up and chase the thing and it's already, a couple hundred yards upriver. So the closer the better, but you don't want him to be super, super close. Like obviously I'm not running a straight down rod with the sucker just off the edge like you would on a
No.
boat in a lake. But let's say if you're going down a stretch of river and it's like basically a straight stretch for a couple hundred yards and it's just a nice deep pool all the way through the middle. I don't care if that sucker's in the middle, if he's towards the bank, if he's either direction, it don't matter because I mean if there's a fish in the middle or on the bank or anything, they're going to sense that sucker's there. It's not a ton of water for that fish to use its lateral line to feel that sucker swimming there up towards the top of the surface. And I run the dangle blades on my rigs too, so that adds a little bit of extra
Hmm.
vibration and whatnot and a little bit more flash just to be able to be seen. But let's say if you're floating down and you have like an outside bend that's pretty sharp, I'll position myself upriver at the start of the bend where it starts to get deep. Like a lot of times you'll have a rapids where it's shallow and then it'll deepen up and the river will bend either river right or river left. It don't matter. And then obviously it gets deep on the outside bend. That's where the most of the current is, or the current's going to be the fastest. So that's going to eat away the sediment on that side. It'll generally be deeper, but no matter which side it turns, if it's a bend to the left or bend to the right, I'll position myself at the top of that bend, position the sucker preferably closer to that outside bank, and then I'll row the boat back upriver to get us away from the sucker, and then float down closer to the inside bend and have that sucker be not perfectly perpendicular off the side of the raft, but maybe off the back at like a 45 and just kind of slowly go down the river with that bobber going in the deeper section while we're in the shallow area, getting away
Hmm.
from the deep side, not to disturb any fish that are in there, if that
That
makes sense.
takes some skill, yeah.
Yeah, it's I,
Sure.
I always compare it to like drifting like a spawn bag or something like that for salmon or steelhead along like a current seam or something like that. And I think that's a
Yeah,
pretty good analogy to use it with.
for
No, that's
sure.
perfect. Yeah, I got. I think you, which is why I'm about to bring it up. We talked about you said the story when we were on the raft. What was that one eat you said you had on a sucker that you had to fight it through rapids, or was this a normal not sucker eat? Where the fish like took the sucker and went up rapids or something crazy, or like
So,
I was like, what the hell's going on?
so it was on a section of river where there was a deep hole just above at the head of a rapids, and then obviously it shallowed up in the rapids and then got deep again below it. So usually during a rapids, I'll reel the sucker in, not like fully bring him into the boat and put him in the cooler, but I'll reel him up and just let him sit like a couple feet off as we go through the rapids, just to kind of avoid lifting him in and out of the water and whatnot. But in this particular area, I was like, okay, well, we just got through this top hole here at the head of the rapids. Didn't have any eats, so I'm just gonna leave the sucker back there and just say screw it. The rapid was only like maybe 30, 40 yards long, and it was a nice deep channel in the middle. So I wasn't worried about the sucker getting snagged or anything back there. And I was thinking, okay, we'll go through and just drift him down the hole below the rapids too, and just keep on floating. And we were already through the rapids and literally just before the current got fast, the sucker got eaten in the first hole. And usually when the sucker gets eaten, I'll hand the guy who's going to take the rod, obviously, and set the hook on it. I'll hand him the rod and then I'll back row us or turn us around and roll us up to chase the fish down a little bit because you don't want to set the hook really, really far away from the sucker. You want to get, 10, 15 yards away, get it in good position, let the fish be swimming away from you and give yourself the best chance of landing it and a nice quick net job with you being closer to it. But the current in this particular rapid was too damn strong. So I got us to the shore where it wasn't quite as fast and basically worked my ass off for probably a good 3, 4 minutes trying to get us up river to the top of this rapid. And the fish was actually it was really weird because it didn't even run back into the hole. It literally just it ate the sucker and then it just sat there. And whenever they do that, they're facing upstream because obviously if they were facing down the other way, they'd be getting pushed downriver. So that fish was just sitting right at the head of the rapids. You could just see the bobber there. and it was just kind of, boom, boom, going up and down a little bit. So that's the fish turning it in its mouth and whatnot. So after about 5 minutes of me sweating my ass off and getting out of breath trying to row us back up to it, I thankfully got us like 10, 15 yards away from the bobber. And I had the guy I'm like, all right, dude, here we go. As I'm trying to talk, just catching my breath from rowing so hard. So he reels down, sets the hook on it, boop, rig comes back at us, and there's nothing. There's nothing. So
Oh
all
my
that work for
God.
nothing.
Oh,
And like when the sucker got eaten too, I saw the musky tail come out of the water. It was a violent topwater eat, and it was definitely not a small tail. So
Oh.
it was probably a good
Absurd how it just
if not bigger fish. But yeah,
Yeah.
all that work for absolutely no reward. So yeah, that sucked, unfortunately.
stupid
That's-
freaking muskies.
Yeah, that river stuff is hard work.
Oh, it is for sure. My shoulders get sore after I run
Yeah,
a few
you-
doubles in a row or something like that. Oof.
Back and shoulder workout every day. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
big
crazy.
time. I got one last question. I don't know if Max, Brian, if you guys got any. I'm gonna let mine fly if you guys want to think or whatnot. What's one day or story that stood out this year on the season?
Ooh. Oh, let me think on that for a second. Probably it was probably my best day where we went 4 for 8 in October. I mean, obviously not crazy numbers or anything like that, but just yeah. The first day we went 4 for 8. I had a guy up for 2 days. The first day we went 4 for 8, and then the next day we went like 3 for 6 or something like that. And obviously we were running live bait and whatnot and stuff, and just the amount of fish that we'd have hooked up, we'd get ready, get in perfect position, set the hook on it, and the fish somehow gets off, and then you get another opportunity, and you can see the fish, barely even has the sucker in its mouth, and you set the hook, and somehow you get a hook in its mouth and whatnot. It's a really good way to think about, like, sometimes you think that you do everything right, and yet it still doesn't work out, and then at the same time you can think that you do everything wrong and you still somehow get rewarded for it. So it's kind of weird to think back on that, like, man, we shouldn't have caught those fish, but somehow we did catch them.
Yep.
Everything falls in the right way. I got one question. It might be a good one to kind of wrap us up on, but we were talking earlier in the pod between us three before you hopped on. And then, I don't know, next pod or the one after, we're going to be doing our New Year's resolutions for 2026. So if you think of one New Year's resolution, something to challenge yourself on the river next year, on the spot,
It's
a
the
goal.
December 3rd, and you're hitting them with the
Yeah,
New Year's
yeah.
resolution already.
I don't have enough time to think about that.
Or like a resolution or a big goal, like, a lofty goal for next year.
Like,
So
yeah.
I'll answer, but I'll come back with two answers. So in terms of muskie season, I would say for sure beat the total numbers for this year. So get like 115, 120 muskies, something like that. I think that'd be a really reasonable goal. And then oh man, you're putting me on the spot, dude.
Do you got like a PB you want to
mine,
break?
yeah,
Brian.
one of mine for last year was the glide bait fish over 3 feet.
Oh,
So
sure,
if there's a
sure.
bait or a style of fishing, and then something like that, even.
New
Let's
river to
go.
check out, or goal of learning 5 new stretches, 3 new stretches. I don't know what's
Man.
like if it's too lofty or not.
Let's go with getting like a 45 plus inch tiger on top water in the river.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one.
I know I'll see that picture if it happens, so don't be lying to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Hold me to it for sure.
Yep.
If
Oh,
it
yeah.
happens, you need to leave the bait in the mouth for the pick.
Oh, absolutely. Tag
Yeah.
you guys in the post too.
Yeah, that'd
Hell
be
yeah.
funny.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Muskies on tap put me on the spot, and we made it happen.
That's why you set goals.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah. Hell yeah. Max, you got anything?
oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Wausau show if you're going to be around. And
Yeah,
other
for
than
sure.
that, it's been great having you back on and catching up. And yeah, congrats on the awesome season.
Absolutely. It was good chatting with you boys, and hopefully maybe next fall we can get out and do a couple river adventures together. That'd be pretty sweet. Gus and I need some redemption.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pretty
I need to
sweet.
invite one of these sticks right here to.
I
I
want
don't
to
know
take the
which one I
fly
want
out
to
there.
invite. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a little closer. I can make it work.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, you'd be first up, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
good things to
Congrats.
look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Congrats again on a fantastic season. Before we sign off and Brian takes us away here, how can people get a hold of you? Where can they find you?
So I have my Instagram and my Facebook. My Instagram is lbfishing_guide. Facebook is just my name, Luke Bogdanovic. And then my business page is linked in my profile, LB Fishing Guide Service LLC. And all my contact information is on both of those pages. I put it below every single post so people can see it and whatnot. So yeah, and there's also a billboard in Phillips with all my information on it, my hometown. If any of you guys are ever driving through town there for whatever reason, you'll probably see it. And that goes for anybody else listening. If you're driving through Phillips, you'll probably see my billboard there. It's got my number, website, and stuff on it. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to get a hold of me. I'm pretty easygoing in terms of getting back to people, no matter which way they reach out to me, whether that's through Facebook, Instagram, text, phone call, email. It don't matter.
Hell yeah. Good staying active on that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely helps in terms of growing a business, and no matter what it is.
No, for sure. For sure. All right. Again, thanks for hopping on. Brian, what you got for us?
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Muskies on Tap. Shout out to Luke Bogdanovic with LB Fishing and Guide Service for coming on this week. Awesome chat with him, guys. Big, big winter ahead for all of us, except for the ice fishing, which is coming all too soon here. Lakes are locking up left and right, which is a great time to sit your ass on the couch and watch some college football. Massive games this weekend, huge bowl and playoff implications. College coaches are going everywhere. Lane Kiffin to the Bayou with him and his family, and more coaches.
Family.
Penn State might not get a coach for next year. I don't know what they're doing, guys, but it is a wild time in the college sports arena. Keep your eye on that. Thanks for listening. Peace.